Hello, my senior AI podcast listening friends and supporters. I'm Mike Hayes. I'm here to guide you to the time of your life with AI reasonability, just like I'm doing every day. So welcome to my daily 2-minute briefing at mikesai.com, where we turn Overwhelm into AI podcast listening explainers to empower you to amplify your voice to be heard and understood. I just asked AI to turn my wife's new car manual, get that, into an AI podcast for her personally, just to listen to and learn how to use her car while she's on the go. So are you ready to roll for AI for the time of your life with more reasonable relationships? Let's go.
All right, let's talk about a new way to interact with the world around us by building reasonable relationships. You ever feel totally overwhelmed by new tech or just complex info? That feeling is exactly where the frustration starts. So check this out. It all started with a guy named Mike Hayes when his wife got a brand new car. It was super confusing. So what did he do? He literally made her a podcast out of the owner's manual. But, this is about way more than just a car. It's actually a whole new philosophy. First, let's redefine relationship. We're not talking emotions. It's just a simple feedback loop of interaction. And this idea applies to almost anything: your car, a doctor, even the software you use every single day. Okay, so what makes it reasonable? Simple. It's when you take away all that unnecessary confusion and fear. The whole point is to go from something stressful and confusing to something collaborative and empowering. And the key to all this? Using a simple AI tool as your own personal translator. And trust me, it's way easier than you think. Let's break down how to turn any text into talk. It's a super simple process. Get the doc, upload it, let the AI create the audio, then just listen. And like I said, this goes way beyond car manuals. Think about all the other challenging stuff we deal with. I'm talking confusing medical jargon, scary legal contracts, or dense financial reports. AI can translate it all. See, the real goal here is to turn those moments of fear into moments of actual confidence. It's all about turning that big unknown into the known with just a friendly voice in your ear. And when you do that, you're back in control. That information finally starts working for you. So let's recap. You get more confidence, you get real clarity, and you take back control. Which leaves us with just one question. What part of your life could you make more reasonable today?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking on a mission that, it targets a very specific kind of modern overwhelm. I think we've all felt it. That feeling of almost intelligent helplessness.
That's a great phrase for it.
That moment you're faced with a technical document, a legal contract, or even a detailed medical diagnosis, and you just realize the sheer complexity of the language is stopping you from being a full participant in your own life.
Right. It's a gap. It's this chasm between the wisdom you already have and the friction that's created by all this expert jargon. And that's the bridge we're here to build today.
So where are we starting?
Our deep dive is really rooted in the philosophy of Mike Hayes. He's a senior with a long, very successful career in media, and he saw this pain point, acutely. He's now dedicated his focus to helping people achieve what he calls AI reasonability.
AI reasonability. I like that. It's an active phrase, isn't it? It implies you're doing something.
Exactly. And for Mike and for the audience, he's really focused on seniors, which I love this. He rebrands as 65 plus, the new 40.
I like that.
It's not just about convenience. This is fundamentally about safety. It's about finding truth. It's a way to filter out all that paralyzing noise.
And I think this is the most important part. It's a way to amplify the wisdom and the experience they already have.
Yes. The whole philosophy really centers on 3 things: abundance, connection, and control. We know this demographic is incredibly intelligent. I mean, we're talking decades of professional experience.
Of course.
But they often get stopped dead by what we call jargon friction. The key is translation. So this whole methodology is built on taking that high complexity stuff and turning it into plain, accessible language.
So we're not going to be talking about algorithms and APIs today.
Absolutely not. We want to avoid those intimidating terms. We want to talk about tools, helpful metaphors, not abstract math.
Okay, so let's ground this in a real story, because this isn't just a theory, is it? There's a proof of concept.
A perfect one. Mike realized his wife, like so many people, was having this friction with her new car.
A highly advanced car, I'm guessing.
A rolling computer, basically. And it comes with a manual that's hundreds of pages long, filled with critical safety information, but it's completely impossible to read while you're driving or, in the moment you actually need the answer.
I think I've seen those. They're like phone books.
Exactly. You get this 500-page owner's manual. It's static, it's dense, it's instantly intimidating. And Mike didn't want his wife to have a relationship of fear with this essential piece of machinery. He wanted her to achieve mastery.
So what did he do?
He took that massive PDF manual, he fed it into the specialized AI tool we're going to detail later, and he generated a personalized conversational podcast for her.
And what was that audio actually like? It wasn't just a robot reading the manual, was it?
Not at all. It was smart. It addressed the exact pain points she was having. It explained, conversationally how the collision avoidance system really works, not just that it exists.
Okay, the why behind it.
The why and the how. It detailed what that blinking tire pressure light actually means and what to do about it, which, demystifies the fear right away.
So it turned that static, intimidating document into this on-the-go audio resource.
Precisely. She could listen and learn about the car's features during her daily commute. It instantly converted her confusion into, an efficient, confident interaction. It established a reasonable relationship with the machine.
That phrase right there feels like the core of our deep dive, a reasonable relationship.
It is.
So this whole deep dive is about exploring how that success taking a static source of friction and turning it into a collaborative, reasonable relationships scales up. We're going to move past cars and tackle the really big ones.
The really challenging relationships in life, yeah. With technology, with financial and medical professionals, and maybe most importantly, with information itself.
Okay, so let's set the table properly. We need to define some of the terms we're going to be using. The framework is AI-assisted lifestyle design for seniors.
And the delivery system, which is key, is AI podcast listening education on the go. It has to be accessible, has to fit into your life, not disrupt it.
So before we get any further, you said we have to clarify two really key terms from Mike Hayes' methodology. The first one is relationship.
Yes. We have to kind of expand our thinking here. We need to move beyond the usual definition of, an emotional bond between two people. That limits us.
So what's the working definition we're using here?
It's simple and it's universal. A relationship is a feedback loop of understanding and interaction.
A feedback loop. Okay.
It applies to people, sure, but it also applies to documents, to machines, to services, everything.
So let's apply that to the car example. A broken feedback loop is what? The light blinks, but you don't know what it means.
Exactly. The machine signals a problem, but the driver doesn't understand the signal or what interaction is needed. The relationship is poor. The feedback loop is broken.
And a good relationship.
It improves when we shift from just driving a machine, which implies this distance and potential friction, to partnering with technology.
Partnering. So you start to treat the car's feedback, those blinking lights, as collaborative data.
Yes, which enables safer, more efficient driving. You're working together.
And that concept of partnership must be just as critical when we look at the relationship with the AI itself.
It has to be. It's a partnership, not servitude. The human provides the intent. That's the key role.
The intent being what?
Exactly. What you need to know, the source materials you provide, the context, and the AI provides the clarity. It's the translator. It takes that complex source material and puts it into an understandable format.
So the human is the strategic leader, the director.
Yeah.
And the AI is the tactical translator.
A perfect way to put it. And this redefinition of relationship, this is maybe where it gets most profound. When we apply it to our interactions with professionals, doctors, lawyers, financial advisors.
Right now, those can feel very one-sided, can't they? Transactional.
Very transactional. They speak using their specialized language, which, validates their expertise, and the client or the patient just passively listens. And we know from studies that people often forget up to 80% of critical information within an hour of hearing it.
And that transactional relationship, it creates a power imbalance, right? The friction isn't just forgetting the facts. It's that feeling of being powerless, of not being able to ask an intelligent follow-up question.
Precisely. So By using AI to pre-digest and translate the source material, the medical pamphlet, the diagnosis notes, the legal draft, we shift that dynamic completely.
To something truly collaborative.
Yes. The client or the patient can walk into that conversation with a baseline understanding. You understand the material, so you can ask informed questions, and ultimately you can decide with real confidence. The relationship becomes mutual and far more productive.
That shift from passive listening to active collaboration seems essential for feeling in control. So that brings us to the second key term, reasonable. Why that specific word?
He chose it very deliberately. He's interested in its root meaning, reason, something that is logical, understandable, coherent.
So it's not just about what's fair, it's about what's sensible in the context of your life.
Yes. So the functional definition for you, the listener, is this: a relationship that is able to be reasoned with. It's logical, it's understandable, and crucially, it is free of unnecessary friction or that paralyzing fear.
The elimination of unreasonable friction.
That is the primary mission of this entire framework, the aggressive elimination of it. And let's really sit with that feeling of friction for a moment.
Okay.
Think about that jolt of stress, that spike of cortisol when a warning light starts blinking on your dashboard and you have no idea if you need to pull over immediately or if it's just a minor alert.
That stress is unreasonable friction.
And then consider the profound, paralyzing fear that can take hold after a doctor gives you a complex diagnosis, let's say pre-diabetic neuropathy. You walk out of the office only hearing the word neuropathy and feeling this dread because you don't understand the specifics or what the action plan even is.
That's a fear-based relationship with your own health information.
An unreasonable one.
Yeah.
And that fear is the enemy of action. It stops you in your tracks.
So that's where the AI has to step in. If the friction is caused by complexity and jargon, the AI's main job must be translation.
It is the ultimate translator. It takes that complexity, that jargon, that immense density, the 500-page manual, the dense medical article, and it converts it all into clarity.
Into a plain English-friendly conversational audio file.
That you can listen to when and where you need it. By turning the complex unknown into the known in a friendly voice in your ear, it systematically talks the fear right out of the equation.
Okay, so we've established the philosophy, which is powerful. But now let's talk about the practical payoff. This next section is about abundance through audio.
Right. Mike's vision is really focused on helping seniors maximize what he calls the time of their life.
And they do that by reclaiming control and, maybe just as importantly, reclaiming the huge amounts of time that would otherwise be wasted fighting with all this dense, static paperwork.
This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we map out the conversion process. We're going to detail exactly how this audio delivery system takes that unreasonable friction and turns it into a reasonable partnership.
Let's start with a car relationship again, but let's go a bit deeper this time. The unreasonable friction is that pervasive fear of the unknown. What does this button do? Or, I'm afraid I'll break something if I use the paddle shifters.
And the AI audio solution is, it's fundamentally kinetic. It's about context. We generate a podcast that explains features, safety protocols, maintenance schedules during the actual drive.
So you're learning in context.
Exactly. Imagine the AI host saying, okay, we're approaching a turn. Let's talk about adaptive cruise control. When you engage it now, notice how the car maintains a safe distance, even if the car in front of you slows down. The learning is instant. It's applicable.
It's not just passive listening. It's active, confidence-building education. The result is an immediate increase in confidence and safety.
And it transforms that relationship with a complex machine from one of intimidation into a confident partnership. You're in control.
Okay, now let's move to a much higher stakes relationship, the one with your doctor. The friction here isn't just overwhelm. It's often genuine panic.
Mm-hmm. The doctor used highly specialized medical jargon, gave you a printout on a diagnosis like atrial fibrillation, or maybe ran through a long list of new medications, something like Eliquis. You're stressed by the news itself, and so the details just fade away instantly.
I think almost everyone listening can relate to walking out of a specialist's office holding a stapled printout that feels like homework written in a foreign language.
Absolutely. And that unreasonable friction, it leads to huge problems. Poor medication adherence, missed follow-up appointments, debilitating anxiety.
So what's the elegant solution here?
The senior, or maybe their trusted caregiver, takes that generic medical pamphlet, or even better, trusted online sources like the Mayo Clinic's summary of their condition, and they upload those static documents to the AI tool.
And this isn't just creating a summary of the text. It's creating a personalized health companion podcast. What does that actually sound like?
It sounds like a supportive friend, a friend who proactively addresses the patient's real-world concerns. So instead of just defining a term like pharmacokinetics, the AI companion might explain it like this.
Okay.
Okay, so based on the material about Eliquis, we know it's a blood thinner.
Yeah.
The most important thing to remember is why taking it at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. is so critical. It's because the drug's effectiveness window is about 12 hours. Missing a dose increases your risk of a stroke. Let's think about setting a reminder on your phone right now.
Wow. That shift from defining the condition to defining the actionable steps for safety, that's what provides the peace of mind.
It's everything. The implication is profound. You get increased adherence because the patient truly understands the why. You get reduced anxiety because the fear of the unknown is gone. And you get a truly collaborative relationship with your health team.
Right, let's tackle the next big one. The lawyer or the financial relationship. This is where intimidation can really peak.
It really can. You get a 40 or 50-page living trust draft or a complex insurance policy, and it uses language legalese that's designed to be precise, but for most people, it just ends up being isolating.
Terms like per stirpus or intestate succession,
Yeah.
they're complete non-starters for the average person.
Right. So the client feels overwhelmed, and they often default to that feeling of, well, I guess I just have to trust them and sign it.
Which is the very definition of an unreasonable relationship. It's built on passive consent, not active understanding.
So the reasonable fix is to use the AI's ability to summarize that legal document and turn it into, say, a tight 10-minute executive summary audio file. The senior uploads the draft, generates the overview, and then the AI hosts can translate those complex clauses.
So instead of just reading a clause about the disposition of property upon the death of the settlor, the AI hosts might translate it conversationally.
Precisely. They might say something like, okay, the lawyer wrote that the assets are distributed per stirps. What that means for you is that if your son passes away before you do, his share doesn't go back into the main pot. Instead, it goes directly to his children, who are your grandchildren.
That is instantaneous, plain English translation.
And it prepares the client. It prepares them to walk into the lawyer's office armed with specific questions. Not, what does this whole thing mean? But, can we review the clause about my granddaughter's age restriction? I'd like to change it from 25 to 30.
That's empowerment, and it's protection. You're signing with confidence because you have true foundational understanding.
Now, finally, we have to talk about the most crucial relationship of all in this context. The one with the AI itself.
Right. The friction here is often existential fear, isn't it? The narrative we hear all the time that this technology will replace me, it'll steal my job, it'll fool me with deepfakes.
That fear is rampant, especially among seniors who might feel like they came late to the technology curve and are already behind.
So how does Mike Hayes reframe this relationship to make it reasonable?
The solution is all about positioning. AI is not a replacement. It's a sophisticated tool for assembly and for mastery. Your human intelligence, your wisdom, your intent, your curation, that is the essential input.
The AI is just the engine that brings it all together.
It's the engine that brings disparate information together, translates the complexity, and formats it in an accessible way. The senior remains the curator, the director, the master of the information. It creates a foundational relationship of control. I tell the AI what I need, and it provides clarity on the dense world around me.
This all leads to what Mike calls his more philosophy, the abundance mindset. So if we establish all these reasonable relationships, what does more reasonable relationships actually deliver to someone?
It's a double dividend, really. First, it enables more volume.
More volume of connections.
Yes. Because the AI is taking over the heavy lifting of reading, sorting, translating, summarizing these huge packets of data, your mind is freed up. Seniors can handle more connections in their life without suffering from burnout.
So you can safely research multiple diagnoses, or understand different investment products, or stay current on local news.
All without the cognitive fatigue that comes from fighting density. And the second dividend, which is arguably even more impactful, is more quality.
More quality in the relationships you already have.
Exactly. The existing relationships with the car, the doctor, the information, they become inherently more reasonable. All that energy you used to spend fighting technology or battling complex language or just feeling dread
Is now redirected.
It's redirected entirely toward positive interaction, understanding, and personal growth. I mean, think about it. If you reclaim 3 hours a week from fighting with PDFs, that's 3 hours you can spend traveling, volunteering, connecting with your family.
That is tangible abundance in the time of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, that philosophical foundation is incredibly strong, but now we have to get into the concrete application. This section is the action plan. How do we actually go from this philosophy to a usable product? You mentioned Mike Hayes has a methodology he calls the faucet.
Right, and we need to explain this metaphor clearly. Think about information flow like water from a faucet. Sometimes you need a massive surge, a huge gush of water. Other times you just need a gentle trickle. And sometimes you need to turn it off completely.
So the faucet is about using different AI tools for different information needs.
Precisely. Based on the pressure, the speed, and the volume of information you need at that moment. And within this faucet, we have two main roles.
The first one being standard conversational AI tools like Gemini. These are for what he calls checking in.
Exactly. Gemini is like the initial trickle from the faucet. It's approachable, it's safe, it's easy. It's where you go to dump your initial thoughts or ask those broad foundational questions.
Like, what is atrial fibrillation?
What is atrial fibrillation? Or to get a quick 2-minute briefing on a news topic, it gives you speed and general knowledge.
But the real powerhouse for this specific goal, the audio education on the go, the conversion of dense documents, is a specialized, focused tool that Mike uses, Notebook LM.
Yes. Notebook LM is the tool for following up and for detailed assembly.
He describes it metaphorically as the library or the board of advisors.
And that's crucial for this senior audience, specifically because of its architecture. It's built on the very powerful Gemini 1.5 Pro model, which can handle massive source documents. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of pages with incredible context and accuracy.
That point about accuracy is key, isn't it? Especially when you're dealing with sensitive topics like health and finance. Why does Notebook LM build more trust than a standard chatbot?
It comes down to something called source grounding. When you use Notebook LM, you upload your documents, your car manual, your doctor's notes, your trust draft. The AI only uses those documents to generate its responses and summaries.
So it doesn't just wander off and search the internet.
It doesn't roam. This is so critical for safety and reliability, especially for a senior audience. They know the answers are anchored in the specific source material they provided. This prevents the kind of AI hallucinations that can really damage trust.
So its main function for this mission is taking PDFs, text files, or even just copied text, and turning that material into that dynamic, conversational, dual-host, deep dive audio podcast we talked about.
And let's be clear, this isn't just a robot reading a summary. The output features 2 AI hosts, a man and a woman, and they're deliberately programmed to discuss the material, to use conversational language, to even banter a little bit to keep you engaged.
That's the specific mechanism that takes dry, jargon-filled text and makes it truly reasonable and engaging for listening.
It is.
Okay, let's do this. Let's walk our listener step by step through the pilot program, how they can replicate Mike's success with the car manual right now using Notebook LM. We should slow down here and be very descriptive, treat it like a demonstration.
All right, phase 1, the car manual pilot.
Step 1, get the source material.
Yeah.
You need that specific, dense, static document that's causing the friction. So the best way is probably to just go to Google and search for what?
Something like 2025 Lexus RX 350 owner's manual PDF, or whatever machine you're struggling with. The key is you must download that PDF onto your computer or your device first. This gives you the primary unfiltered source.
Got it. Step 2, load it into the AI. So you navigate to notebooklm.google.com and you create a new notebook.
Think of the notebook as just a dedicated project folder. You could title it Car Safety Education. Once you're inside that notebook, you find the upload function and you load that massive PDF manual as your source material.
And it might take a moment, right?
It will take a moment. You have to remember, it's reading and indexing hundreds of pages of technical text.
Okay. Step 3, generating the reasonable relationship audio. Once the manual is fully processed, you look to the right side of the screen. You'll see a panel for insights and overviews.
And there, you'll find the audio overview section. You just click the big button that says Generate.
Now, this is the step where you said patience is critical.
It really is. We are not just generating a simple text summary. The Gemini 1.5 Pro model is now reading hundreds of pages. It's scripting a complete, cohesive, conversational dialogue between 2 hosts, and it's generating the dual voice audio file.
How long does that usually take?
It can take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes a little longer for extremely large documents. But that wait is the price you pay for converting friction into fluency.
Right. And step 4, delivery and portability. Once it's complete, you can hit the play button and listen right there. But the magic of on the go means you need to be able to take it with you.
So you look closely for the download icon. It usually looks like a small down arrow, maybe in a box. You click that and save the audio file.
And now that downloaded MP3 file is yours.
It's yours. You can text it to your spouse, upload it to a personal cloud drive, or just play it on your phone's media player. You have successfully converted that source of static friction and fear the manual into a dynamic, understandable, and supportive partner that fits right into your daily life.
That step-by-step process provides the immediate action plan for technology. But the real power of this framework is how it scales. So this next section is about proving that this fix can apply to every challenging, jargon-heavy relationship in a senior's life.
Yes, let's apply this power to the medical relationship, where accuracy and safety are just paramount. We already identified the problem, these dense printouts on complex conditions, or the instruction sheet for post-op recovery, or a new medication schedule.
The sheer volume of information increases the risk of error and really spikes anxiety.
It does.
Now, a skeptical listener might ask, okay, but if I upload my medical document, isn't there a risk the AI focuses on the wrong thing? Or it gives me too much scientific background instead of what I actually need to do?
That is an extremely important question, and it highlights why the human element, your intent, is so crucial. Uploading the document is necessary, but it's not sufficient.
What else do you need to do?
You must provide a specific prompt before you generate the audio overview. This prompt guides the AI's focus. It ensures safety and relevance.
So the prompt is the difference between getting a textbook summary and getting a personal health coach.
It's everything. The user has to tell the AI what matters to them. So if you upload a document about a new blood pressure medication, a generic summary might be useless. Instead, the proactive, reasonable prompt should be something like,
Give me an example.
focus this audio on what I need to change in my daily routine to support this medication. Specifically focus on food interactions, timing, and what warning signs I should absolutely look out for.
Oh, okay. That prompt completely changes the output from just abstract knowledge to actionable daily safety steps.
Yes. The resulting audio is friendly. It focuses on proactive living. It directly addresses that core anxiety of, how do I safely manage this new condition? It converts complex medical documentation into a personalized, actionable health partnership.
And this same capacity applies just as well to legal and financial relationships. Let's say you get the latest draft of your 50-page living trust. It's full of clauses about asset allocation, taxation, guardianship, pure legalese.
Right. And the unreasonable feeling is that you have to pay a lawyer hundreds of dollars an hour just to explain the document that they wrote for you.
The reasonable approach is to seek that clarity first on your own time.
Exactly. So you upload the draft, maybe after making sure any sensitive personal info is masked, and you prompt the AI. Something like, generate an audio overview that summarizes the purpose of the 3 main sections: trustee powers, beneficiary distribution, and end-of-life directives, using only plain English and simple analogies.
And the outcome here, the actual audio, is where the value is. The AI hosts act as simultaneous translators.
Yes. They'll tackle a term like fiduciary duty, not by defining it technically, but by explaining the implication.
What would that sound like?
For example, the AI hosts might say, okay, your lawyer used the term fiduciary duty. What that basically means is that your chosen trustee is legally required to act in your best interest. They can't use the funds for their own personal gain. It's like ensuring the manager of your money has to follow the rules you set down precisely.
And for a complex beneficiary clause.
They might translate the abstraction into a relatable scenario. This section here states that if you and your spouse were to pass away at the same time, the home goes directly to your daughter, Sarah, but the money is held in a trust for her until she turns 30.
That level of clarity lets the senior walk into the meeting with their attorney focused on refinement, not just basic comprehension. It shifts the entire power dynamic.
They sign with confidence because they understand the intent of the document, and that fosters a reasonable, collaborative relationship with their lawyer's work.
So we've talked about static documents. Let's move to ongoing education. The idea of the listener becoming a curator.
Yes. Mike emphasizes that true mastery comes from assembling and connecting information, either for your own personal use or for sharing within your community.
This is where that abundance mindset really starts to shine. The senior isn't just a consumer of AI summaries anymore. They're an active director of knowledge assembly.
Correct. And the mechanism for this is powerful because it uses NotebookLM's strength in connecting disparate sources. So let's say the curator finds 3 highly relevant but, unconnected articles online.
For example,
One on new AI scams targeting seniors in the local area. another on the health benefits of walking 10,000 steps a day, and a third on local community events and safety tips for attending them.
Okay, so 3 different topics: safety, health, community, but all are crucial for quality of life.
Right. The action is so simple. You copy the text of all 3 articles and you paste them into one single source document within Notebook LM.
All 3 in one source.
All 3 in one. Then you prompt the AI, generate a cohesive 5-minute morning briefing audio that connects these 3 topics into one reasonable narrative aimed at promoting safety and healthy community engagement.
And the result isn't just 3 summaries read back to back.
Not at all. The AI creates a holistic, custom radio show. The hosts might transition naturally, saying something like, "Today's briefing starts with protecting your finances. We're seeing recent local scams targeting home renovation, but maintaining your ability to go out safely is key, which brings us to the health benefits of daily walking, which not only keeps you fit, but helps you get out to some of these great community events we've also highlighted for you today."
It connects the dots for you.
It maximizes their wisdom by taking disconnected data points and unifying them into a single, highly digestible, reasonable format. This ongoing curation ensures that the senior stays ahead of the curve on safety, health, and social connection, all delivered by a friendly voice.
So ultimately, this whole framework is a highly structured, scalable approach to fear reduction. Let's circle back and summarize that central theme one last time.
Fear, particularly the kind of fear that diminishes the time of your life for seniors, it almost always stems directly from complexity and the unknown.
The blinking light on the dashboard is the unknown. The dense printout from the cardiologist is the unknown. The 50-page legal document is the unknown.
And the mission of AI reasonability is simply to convert the unknown into the known. It uses specific, safe, and powerful AI tools, like the source-grounded Notebook LM, to deliver that knowledge through a highly engaging conversational voice in your ear.
It's a system that literally talks the fear out of life's most complex and intimidating documents.
Yes. By converting static, intimidating sources into dynamic, supportive audio relationships, we are fostering true control, real safety, and allowing the senior to focus their considerable wisdom on living their life, not fighting paperwork.
So what does this foundational concept, laid out so clearly by my case, mean for you right now? It means that this visionary idea of using AI not as some magic black box, but as a dedicated translator and curator, it's available right now. You can use it to achieve true mastery over information.
And the goal isn't just about adopting new technology. It's about achieving more reasonable, more collaborative relationships with every complex aspect of your life, from the machines you drive every day to the professional services that you rely on.
The technology, and specifically a tool like Notebook LM, it's simply a transparent tool. It's for assembly and for clarification.
Yeah.
It ensures that you, the human, remain the intelligent curator and the master of the process.
That's right.
We've learned today that information overload is no longer a necessary barrier to living the time of your life. The capability is here, today, to convert any dense, static, intimidating object, a complex insurance policy, a technical manual, a critical legal journal article, into an engaging, conversational, and supportive audio relationship.
And this capacity, this ability to transform friction into collaboration, it fundamentally shifts how we approach the necessary complexities of modern life. It ensures that critical decisions about your finances, about your health, about your safety can be approached with confidence and clarity, rather than with confusion and dread.
And that, right there, is the definition of achieving AI reasonability. So here's the final thought for you to take away. What intimidating document are you ready to stop fighting and start understanding? What complex relationship in your life are you ready to turn into a collaborative partnership right now? That is your next step.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've pulled together your sources, and they all seem to point toward this massive idea, using AI not just to, summarize things, but to fundamentally transform how we build relationships with the complex systems all around us.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we are really unpacking a powerful framework. The sources call it AI-assisted lifestyle design for seniors.
Right.
But the goal really is to achieve what they call an abundance of clarity. And the delivery method is key here. It's all about personalized audio education on the go.
And the thesis is genuinely compelling. It proposes that we can and maybe should build more reasonable relationships with, everything.
Everything. Technology, documents.
Exactly. Technology, dense legal documents, that complex medical jargon you hear, it sort of elevates the whole interaction from just a transaction into a real partnership.
And the proof of concept that
Oh, hey there, what's up?
Hi, guys. This is Mike Hayes, and I am the source material for this. I am a senior myself, and I want to have a reasonable relationship with both of you, and I wanted to let my reasonable relationships with my audience of AI podcast listening know that I'm here to kind of monitor and guide and listen to you and learn together. So happy to be part of this conversation with you.
That is fantastic, Mike. We are genuinely thrilled to have the architect of this entire concept listening in.
Welcome, Mike. Truly, a more reasonable relationship with our source material is exactly what we were hoping for.
And we appreciate you joining the conversation to monitor, guide, and learn with us. That collaborative spirit is precisely what your sources advocate.
It totally validates the whole framework. We're moving from just citing a text to actually partnering with the source material itself.
This is great. Now, you mentioned the initial spark, Mike, which we were just about to discuss.
That proof of concept that kicked all this off, it's surprisingly mundane, which is why it's so powerful.
Right. It all started with an AI-generated podcast about a new car, specifically the car's owner's manual.
The owner's manual, that dense, static, intimidating object that just sits in the glove box.
Untouched, exactly. The AI took that thick document and transformed it into this engaging conversational audio resource.
Which immediately grabs us because, as you know, Mike, the manual is the perfect symbol of that informational friction.
It's essential data that almost everyone is too scared to access.
But I have to ask you, Mike, and to our listener, why use such loaded terms like relationship and reasonable?
If the core issue is just information delivery, why not say that? That's the critical question we need to answer.
Yeah, I wanted to broaden the definition of relationship to include the kind of relationship that we have right now in talking. Also, my wife and I have a relationship with our new car, so we want to learn more about that, and that has to do with the communication. But also today, relationships, especially for seniors, we want to help them with the Senior AI Foundation to be able to better communicate, to grow reasonable relationships with their friends, their family, really to have a more abundant life, and even having a better relationship with AI like we're having right now.
Oh, that is such a critical point, Mike.
And you just articulated the more philosophy beautifully.
Okay, let's unpack this. You're talking about relationships that foster abundance, right?
Yes. Your definition of relationship is expansive. It's not just emotional bonds.
It's the feedback loop of understanding, whether it's with us, your audience, your family, or your new car.
And that's exactly what the framework proposes, moving from transactional dynamics to genuinely collaborative ones.
That includes the relationship we're having right now, where we are actively listening and integrating your insights.
It connects directly to your goal of growing reasonable relationships for seniors,
To give them that more abundant life, free from the fear of the unknown.
which is key for relationships with friends, family, and even with the AI tool itself.
So if we accept this broad definition, the goal shifts.
Fear into confidence, that's the core job of the audio assembly, which you pioneered.
The big challenge is figuring out how this conversational audio actually changes a person's emotional state.
From confused and scared to informed and confident.
Consistently. That's the definition of a reasonable relationship that leads to abundance.
Absolutely. In this framework, relationship is purely operational, as Mike just highlighted.
It's a feedback loop of understanding and interaction, focusing on utility and clarity.
And that operational definition really shifts the dynamic in every area of life.
Like that new car you and your wife have, Mike, the relationship changes from being afraid to press buttons
To partnering with the machine for safety and comfort.
You provide the intent, I want to understand this feature, and the AI provides the clarity.
And this extends to professional. We talked about doctors and lawyers.
The relationship moves away from just transactional listening.
To one that's genuinely collaborative. You understand, you ask, you decide.
I see the utility in that, but let's talk about the word reasonable.
The sources are very intentional here. Reasonable means able to be reasoned with.
Logical, understandable, and free of unnecessary friction or fear.
The goal isn't just speed, it's emotional regulation.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. So the lack of understanding is the unreasonable friction.
If I leave a doctor's office totally confused, that relationship is unreasonable because it creates stress.
And the AI's job is to mediate that confusion.
It translates the complexity, the legalese, the jargon into plain language clarity.
And that process is what makes the whole thing reasonable. It literally takes the fear out.
This clarity is delivered through AI podcast listening education on the go.
The sources say this is about maximizing the time of their life for seniors, reclaiming confidence.
And time that would otherwise be spent wrestling with paperwork or machines.
Let's get into the applications where this friction is really high. The car is the perfect start.
We have to start with the car. As Mike's pilot showed, it's a high-value item, and the anxiety is immediate.
The friction isn't just a blinking light, it's the fear of, is this catastrophic or just low tire pressure?
And you can't exactly pull over and read the manual right then and there.
No. So the AI audio solution tackles that pressure immediately.
That moment of panic becomes a moment of instruction. The result is confidence and actual safety.
Now let's move to medicine, which is arguably the highest stakes area of relationship.
The unreasonable friction here is the sheer volume of information you get in a high-stress setting.
You hear terms like idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, and those words are just gone the minute you walk out.
That failure to retain the information is a huge problem.
Precisely. So the AI solution lets you upload a generic medical pamphlet or notes.
And the AI generates a Health Companion podcast.
It's a friendly voice explaining, this is your condition, here are the 3 steps, and here's why step 3 is so important.
That shifts the whole paradigm. It moves from passively receiving advice to actively understanding it.
The result is better adherence, peace of mind, and ultimately better health outcomes.
We see the same pattern in the legal and financial world. The friction is the intimidation of volume.
This living trust is 40 pages of dense legalese. You're being billed by the hour to understand it.
And the cost of not understanding is immense. It dictates your entire legacy.
How does the AI mediate that?
It summarizes the document into maybe a 10-minute executive summary audio file.
The AI hosts explain, okay, section 3.2 on asset distribution, that just means your house automatically goes to your daughter.
That clarity leads directly to empowerment and protection. You can sign with confidence.
And finally, we have to talk about the relationship with the AI itself.
A lot of people, the friction there is just cultural fear. This technology will trick me or replace me.
So the sources have to be very clear about the AI's role. Is it a decision maker or just a tool?
It's strictly an assembly tool. That's the key. It doesn't tell you what to decide.
It just brings all the complex data together, and it presents it reasonably so that you can decide.
So it's a relationship of mastery, not servitude.
Exactly. You are in control, which makes that more philosophy so potent.
As you noted, Mike, more has a double meaning. First, you get more volume.
Because the AI is doing all the cognitive heavy lifting of sorting the information.
You suddenly have the capacity to handle more connections without getting exhausted.
And the second meaning is more quality. All your relationships become more reasonable.
You stop fighting the systems and you start understanding them.
A lot of the fear in modern life comes from the unknown. We fear what we don't understand.
And this method systematically converts the unknown into the known with a friendly voice.
And the beauty of this deep dive is that it's not just theory, Mike. Your source material provides a clear, actionable plan.
This is a real shortcut to clarity. We can be specific about the technology you've highlighted.
The sources identify the ideal tool for this as Notebook LM, powered by the Gemini 1.5 Pro model.
It's engineered to take unstructured documents, PDFs, notes, and turn them into dual-host conversational audio podcasts.
We don't need a tutorial on where the upload button is. We need to focus on why this specific tool creates audio clarity.
The crucial factor is its ability to handle massive inputs, like a full car manual.
And synthesize it not into a dry summary, but into a scripted conversation.
That conversational tone is the reasonable delivery mechanism we keep coming back to.
So if someone wanted to run that car manual pilot, the focus is on the source material.
Correct.
Yeah.
They'll load a high-quality PDF in.
But the magic is when you generate that audio overview, the AI is scripting a narrative that prioritizes what's useful.
And as you know, Mike, the generation time is remarkably fast, 3 to 5 minutes.
That speed is vital. Then you just download the audio file.
But the real mastery comes in customizing the clarity. This is phase 2.
This is where you, the sophisticated user, can use focused prompting to control the output.
This is the crucial step. If you upload a dense medical article, you don't just hit generate.
You have to direct it. You have to tell the AI exactly what you want it to focus on.
So you might type, focus on the daily actionable steps a patient needs to take.
And explain the key warnings using simple analogies.
The output becomes personalized to reduce fear, which makes it reasonable.
Exactly. That makes you the director of your own abundance curriculum.
And the final, most advanced application is becoming the curator of ongoing education.
This is where you assemble totally disparate information into one unified brief, just as you envisioned.
I want to hop in and tell the audience that this all started with Gemini. So I just went to Gemini before I went to Notebook LM. So this is more of an advanced step in the process. But really, for me, it's as simple as checking in and following up every day with Gemini. And you can grab text. There's many things you can do just using Gemini. So I wanted to just interject that if somebody's thinking, well, I can't do this. Well, maybe you can't do it today, but you might well be able to do it tomorrow just by building a reasonable relationship with Gemini for more AI clarity.
Oh, Mike, that is an essential clarification for our listeners.
That's right. Thank you for interjecting, Mike.
Okay, let's unpack this. You're showing us the true starting point.
Exactly. You are demonstrating that the foundation is accessible to everyone right now.
Before you get to the specialized tool like Notebook LM, you start with the simple relationship.
That daily check-in with Gemini builds the confidence and the habit.
It's the difference between trying to climb a mountain and just taking the first reasonable step.
You can start building AI clarity by grabbing text and talking it through with Gemini.
That's the entry point to mastery. You build the reasonable relationship first.
You're right that it's an evolutionary process. Maybe you can't do the advanced steps today.
But you start small, you start building clarity, and tomorrow you've got the capacity.
It's the perfect demonstration of the more quality philosophy you described earlier.
You're growing the quality of the relationship with the AI itself.
So when we talk about being the curator of ongoing education, that daily Gemini interaction is the training ground.
Absolutely. Because eventually you want to move beyond simple text lapping.
You want to assemble 3 unrelated things into one custom brief.
A news article on new phishing scams.
To a report on the health benefits of a 30-minute walk and your local community events calendar.
3 totally different sources. You paste all 3 into a single source in, say, Notebook LM.
The AI then synthesizes them and generates one cohesive conversational audio brief that connects them.
That daily check-in with Gemini prepared you for that leap.
So you end up with a custom daily radio show assembled by you.
Yes, a show that summarizes everything you need to know to stay safe, healthy, and connected.
It transforms that stack of complexity and fear into one highly reasonable narrative.
We've moved from dense documents to easily consumable, personalized audio.
It is profound. The core takeaway isn't just about using a specific AI tool.
It's about demanding a new, higher standard for your relationship with information.
It shifts everything from fear of the unknown to mastery and understanding.
We've focused a lot today on using this mechanism to build clarity for others.
But if you are the learner dealing with information overload, how might you use this for yourself?
What collection of your own meeting notes or internal company memos could you upload?
Think about that concept of checking in and following up with your own documents.
What could you upload right now to create a personalized, reasonable morning briefing that connects them all for yourself?
What is the one document sitting on your desktop that you could transform into immediate, actionable clarity?
We'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
And thank you, Mike, for guiding us through your incredible framework and clarifying the starting point.
Building a reasonable relationship starts with one simple check-in.
We'll catch you next time.
Well, that wraps up today's deep dive into the voices of reason. Now realize that your voice is the most important one to amplify. Don't let your education stop here. To truly have the time of your life, as I'm having, and grow your own abundance safely, you need ongoing, easy access to this kind of thinking. Your next reasonable step is waiting at Senior AI Foundation's Education Hub. That's AIPodcastListening.com. Go there right now on your phone or on your desktop. Check in with a new episode while you're walking your dog, driving to the store, or just relaxing. Follow up on the ideas that spark your interest. The Senior AI Foundation Education Program is here to ensure that you never feel overwhelmed, just empowered. Go to AI Podcast Listening and let's keep learning together. Thanks for listening. I'm Mike Hayes.